So actually it's a lot of sacrifice for them to join us. I have someone speaking to us from the US. The time is around 2 a.m. there now. I have someone speaking from Australia. I think it's evening time. Someone is speaking from Malaysia. It's afternoon. So everyone is on different timelines and on different programs, but they are making this effort to join us this afternoon. We have one of the speakers who is unable to make it today because right now he's about to start an exam. So he would have loved to be here, but he couldn't make it because of his exam. So maybe another time, maybe next webinar, we'll have him speaking to us. So we have 3 guests who will be speaking to us and addressing some of the questions that we're always getting asked. I still remember that last webinar, I still got many of those questions. But in our effort to continue to support the dreams of all of our many clients, we try to seek out useful information that can help you in your journey to fulfillment. And that's why we're here this afternoon. I'm just going to share briefly what the program is going to look like, then we will move on. This is our outline for the program this afternoon. So I'm just going to, I think I've already started the introduction if I've not completed it. And then I'm going to just make a few announcements. Then we'll go straight on to the student testimonies from USA, Malaysia, and Australia. They'll be talking about scholarships, other types of funding that people can access, work and study options, and self-employment options. Then I'm just going to round up by talking about the ARUS admission process briefly for those who may have questions on that. And then we will from there move on to other things for the day. I know you all have different programs for the day. So who we are, I think I want to assume that everyone on the call knows who ARO is. So we are your international education partners, and we are supporters of your study abroad dreams. And that's just, I think, what we've been doing. And that's what is bringing us together here again today. This is what we do, just to put it concisely. Of course, we do more than that, but we provide guidance and counseling for our students, personalized support in the sense that we know that everyone has a different case. So we try to personalize it for you. We try to look at your specific case and advise based on that, guide you based on that. And then we do academic counseling and career counseling. The difference being that, okay, before you go in, what program should you be focusing on based on your personal situation or the country of study that you want to go into? How can you factor that into your future career so that you don't make a mistake? And then we also do research consulting for students who are interested in pursuing either research masters or PhD research. We do research consulting, we provide admission processing, visa support, and then fund security is added there for you to know that you have nothing to fear. Because I think I've had several cases where students will tell me, so how can I be sure that you are for real? That because people have gone through so much in this field. And so the only thing I can tell you is, if you're looking for 100% security, okay, you have it here. And then we also go beyond admission for all our students. That's one of the things that differentiate us from other study abroad service providers. We don't just help you process visa and maybe get admission. We support you through the entire process. We support you through your travel plans, through your travel, through even when you land in your study destination. We have also supported our students who have had problems. After they have registered and started their programs, they got into trouble and they needed support. We do that. So our support for our students is right from the moment you are thinking about traveling until, I think, forever. We always call our students our family members, because at the end of the day, that's what they become. And then all of those goes into what I'll call the exceptional value-added services that we provide. And finally, we provide support for minors, because for many African countries, we have students who come in who are less than 18. So for such students, we try to be there for them because their parents couldn't be, they are thousands of kilometers away. So we try to be there for them. And we have that network across the world, and we leverage that for whichever country our students are going into. Okay, we move on to the next slide. So today on the webinar, we are going to be having the sharing time with three individuals. Solomon is the one at the top there. He's already on the call. You might see him on the call. He is speaking to us from Australia, and he was a former student in Malaysia. He did his master's degree in Malaysia, and now he is in Australia for his PhD program. And then we have Priscilla, who is also an undergraduate student from the US. So she's going to be from the US. And then we have Rachel Ifeolua. She's speaking to us from Malaysia. She's a PhD scholar, and she is also what I would call an entrepreneur. So she's going to be speaking to us about self-employment as a student, how you can leverage self-employment to support yourself, because that's what she's doing. And she's going to be sharing her experience with us. So I'm Dr. Bosede Edwards, always your host on this program, and we're going to stay together for this session. Okay, brief announcement. I think I announced that during the last seminar as well. In June this year, we are going to be having a special session of education fair in Nigeria. We're going to be coming with several universities to Abuja and Lagos. And Abuja is going to be on the 15th of June and Lagos on the 17th of June. So if you are anywhere around there and you want to be part of the webinar, of the Edu Fair, please register and join us at the fair. We will have a lot of opportunities because one, you're going to be able to meet the universities one-on-one. You're going to be able to discuss with them, ask all the questions that you've been wanting to ask. And apart from that, we have already discussed with the universities that are coming to be ready to give you on-the-spot admission letters. So for those who are about to write their WAEC, or who just wrote their WAEC and are waiting for results, you can use this opportunity to get your offer letter against September intake. So you can take advantage of that. They are going to be there, and I will play that later on. And then more announcements here about, I've just talked about that program right now. And we are covering bachelor's, master's, and PhD, as well as professional courses. So if you are there and you are saying, I'm not interested in any one of the degree programs, then maybe you want to develop yourself professionally, you're also covered. And then during the next webinar, we're going to be having sharing times with professors and professionals from different fields. I promised us that last year, but we were unable to because of a number of factors that prevented that from happening. But we're going back to that now, and I would say for parents on the call, please encourage your children to be part of this. A lot of times, students just make decisions based on what they think is good, or maybe based on names. I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this and that, because they believe that it's prestigious. But we are living in a world that is totally different from the days of our parents. Getting a prestigious title does not guarantee anything. You want to be able to study, and after your study, be able to get employment. That's the focus. So we're going to be having people from different fields speaking to us about different professions, so that our students can learn to make informed decisions about their study abroad. And then we're also going to be bringing more speakers who will speak on fundings and scholarships. And we are already making more effort on supporting our students with scholarship information. And you're going to be receiving some links shared with you just now on the, I think in the chat box, you'll get the links for some of the scholarships that we already curated for you. They are all open at the moment. So if you are qualified, you can always apply. Parent testimonials will also be part of the things that we are going to be walking through during the next set of webinars that we're going to be having. We'll bring parents that we have worked with, parents of our students, to talk to you, so that as a parent, if you want to hear from someone like you, they are going to be able to speak to you, and they can share with you how we have worked together with them, so that your mind can be at peace that you are in the right hands. And then more announcements there. Intakes that are currently open: September 2023, January 2024, April and May, and September 2024. It might surprise you that some universities are already filled up for 2024. So if you want to go to such a university right now, you will only be able to apply for 2025. So what that means for you is, if you want to study abroad, start early. Don't wait until you have everything. Start on time, so that even if you, let's say you want to go to a university, usually Canadian universities are like this, many of the top universities there. So let's say you want to go to one of those universities and the seat is already filled up for September 2024. It means that the only thing that is open right now is January 2025. And if you don't apply now, you will still miss that. So start early, start now. Even if you get an offer and you are not completely ready to go, maybe you still need a little more time to prepare, you can always make a deferment and secure that seat against when you will be ready. And so on the right hand side of my screen, you'll see open scholarships and postdocs. So for those who have been asking me about postdoctoral fellowships, yes, they are there. NTU Singapore Presidential Postdoc Fellowship is there. And then you have the HFSP program in, I think that's Switzerland or so. And then you have the Zurich Postdoctoral Fellowship as well. There is a Youth Leader UNFPA scholarship there for Ghanaian students. So if we have anyone from Ghana on the call, that's a scholarship that you can explore. It's fully funded, but it's about to close. I mean, application is about to close on 30th of this month. So you need to be fast. The MSCA Postdoctoral Fellowship is also there for anyone working in the field of digital technology or any interdisciplinary field. What that means is, whichever field you are in, as long as you can link it up with technology in one way or the other, you are free to apply for this scholarship. This is Solomon, and he is a PhD scholar. If you don't mind, can we see your face? Thank you very much. Thank you. And I want to say thank you very much for being on the call, because I know this is like almost like impossible. Everyone on the call, please, if you can, help me give him a thumbs up. He came from the hospital to speak to us on this program. He has not been feeling fine for quite some time, and he just left the hospital about an hour plus ago, thereabout. So, yeah. But he decided he was going to make it and share with us. Solomon was previously studying in Malaysia. He did his master's in Malaysia and started his PhD, and then he got a full scholarship to move to Australia to study. And now he's speaking to you from Australia, from Queensland, to be specific. And then he will, one of the things that made me to ask him to speak to us is because on this call, I was always telling our students that don't wait until you can afford to go to the US or UK or Canada before you make a move. Because making a move to somewhere else is actually a part of the journey that can make it easier for you to get to your destination. I call it a bridge. So for him, Malaysia was the bridge that gave him the leverage to finally move to Australia. And that is something that anyone can take advantage of. So don't wait forever, because you may not be able to get there. One of the important things here is that, like I always mention, your tuition cost in a place like Malaysia is about 25% of what you're going to pay if you go to the US, the UK, or Canada. Sometimes it's even less than that. So that can be something for you to live where you presently are, improve yourself academically, and then move on to where you want to go. The reason being that when you stay at home, sorry to say that for those who are still at home, when you stay at home and you study at home, a lot of times you are really behind because of the unfortunate situation that our education systems are in. So you are behind and you will not qualify for admission to the good place that you want to go. I'll explain something. So I'll tell you something that happened to me. The first proposal that I wrote when I wanted to leave Nigeria to study abroad for my PhD. My first proposal, when I sent it to a professor in, I think, Australia, her response to me was, I don't understand what you're talking about. Because I wasn't making sense. But that was what I knew. That was what I could do. And that was why I had to change my plan and then take advantage of something that could make my life easier. So I think that's exactly what he has done too. He could have sat and waited in Nigeria until he's able to get an offer to Australia, which may never come, because he wouldn't know what he knows today. He wouldn't have the connections he had today. He wouldn't have the network that allowed him to do this. So let me leave, sorry, what's going on? Okay, thank you. So let me leave Solomon to address us. So what program are you running at the moment? And then what type of scholarship are you using? What does it cover? Tell us a bit about that.
All right. Thank you, Aros. Thank you for this time. Hello, everyone. I'm Solomon. So I'm currently in Australia, as she rightly said, and I'm studying Doctor of Philosophy in science education. My major is chemistry education. And then I chose to come here to Australia because certainly I would say the system of education is very good. And then the quality of their education, like the university I am, they are actually ranked one of the highest in the world. So it really gives me the motivation to really come here. And then one of the reasons that really being a Nigerian, I would say, that makes me to come here is because this place gives opportunity for work even while studying, and also opportunity to work even after you finish your studies. So I understand the fact that it's quite difficult to get job back home. So while I was in Malaysia, I knew that if I finish my PhD in Malaysia, then actually there is a slim chance that I could get maybe job even if I return to Nigeria. So, and that was the reason why I really pushed to come here. So,
and when you talk about push, how did that push happen? What did that push involve?
Wow. Absolutely, it involved many things. Notable amongst them is number one is my preparedness, that is my readiness. While doing my master's, I had this plan already, so I really worked hard to see that my CV was good. And so that was the first thing that, in fact, the supervisor, as in the first time we had communication with the supervisor, she said, wow, your CV is good, then you must be smart. So it really drew her attention to me. And then secondly, it's my publications. During my master's, I published some papers. So it really gave some impression that, yeah, maybe he's a good student in research. So, and then another one is commitment in terms of, I will be a bit religious here, is I really prayed, actually. I prayed about it so much, and God really answered my prayer. So I think those are a few amongst the push that I did.
And when you talk about good CV, what does that look like?
Okay, I would say out of a point of scale of 4, my CV was about 3.89, about 3.9. So it really gives a good chance to anyone who is going to assess that CV. Out of 4, you're getting 3.9, then it must be quite good.
So what are the things on it that makes it good? Yeah, because our listeners will want to, let's say someone wants to work and improve their CV, what are they supposed to do? What are the important things that are necessary for them to build a good CV?
Okay. Building a good CV, actually, it requires your academic. That's one aspect. That is your transcript. Then another one is your engagement in leadership roles, for example. Then another one is your engagement in research. Another one could be your engagement in voluntary activities. So while I was in Malaysia, I volunteered a lot in some organizations, and I was one time the ISS Nigeria in Malaysia in UTM Secretary General, and then volunteered to go for World Cleanup Day and so many other things. So it really built the CV to see that, yeah, you are not just on academic alone, you are really maybe someone of good reputation also.
Okay, thank you very much. So for those who are listening, he's talking about two things here, or let me say three things. You need to show that you are a good student through your CGPA. High CGPA is a must. Secondly, you need to be socially engaging. You need to get involved in other things outside of education. Outside of going to the library, you should also participate in social activities. Apart from that, you should show that you have the capacity, the potential for leadership. And how do you demonstrate that? By taking up leadership roles, by serving. So these are all things that are important. And I would like to use this opportunity to speak to parents on the call. A lot of times, this is where our students, our children, especially those who are leaving high school, this is where they fall short because they have no experience outside of getting A's in school. A's are fantastic, but they are not enough. The system wants to see that they are more than just books. The system wants to see that they can lead when given the opportunity. The system wants to see that they are responsible members of the society. So when I ask our students to do their CV, and they will tell me, I have never worked, how do I have a CV? You might never have done a paid job, but there is nothing stopping you from serving in the society, volunteering in the community, and these are all things that can go on your CV to make it look good. So these are things that they look out for when they are evaluating your CV. So when he said a good CV, those are the kind of things he's talking about. So participation in student activities, serving in school, even if you are not made the senior prefect or a prefect at all in your school, there are still ways you can participate. Join groups, serve on committees. These are all things that you can put on your CV, and then it will really enhance it. And sometimes I want to use the word, when you help to support the dreams of others, you are also supporting your own dreams. That's another thing that people miss out. Maybe there is nothing in it for you to gain, but there is something in it for you to put on your CV. That's something that you can also look out for. It helps all together at the end of the day. Thank you. And then, so do you have scholarship? What type of scholarship is it? What does it cover? Were you required to give anything back, maybe to the institution or to the society or who, for the scholarship?
All right. Actually, I was privileged, to get a scholarship. And the scholarship is from the graduate school, in the university I am. And then it requires me not to give anything in return. So it's just a free scholarship for 3 years. So all I need to do is just to keep up to keep up doing the hard work and make sure that I live up to expectation. And then it covers tuition fee and then living stipend. And the living stipend is usually an amount that is stated there that you could see by yourself. If it's enough for you to live, accommodation, and also to feed from it, then fine. And that was it. So when I checked the amount, I see that, I can live. It can pay my accommodation. It can help me to buy some food stuff. Yeah.
If you were to have a family, will it be enough?
Actually, if I'm having family, no, it wouldn't be enough. It's just for single people.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And so how long did it take for you to process and get the scholarship? I mean, from first contact with the opportunity or information to the offer letter to the scholarship offer? How long? How was the process like?
Yeah, I would say it took me 1 year, 6 months. 1 year, 6 months. But in the 1 year, 6 months, exactly 1 year and 3 months is when I received the offer.
So you got the admission offer before the scholarship offer, or you got them together?
Together, they came together.
Okay. So you applied for them together, or it comes automatically with your application?
You apply together.
Okay.
Because since it's a PhD, this is not like master's or something. Even if it's master's, if it's by research, definitely you have to find a supervisor first. And in finding the supervisor, you are going to tell the supervisor, this is what I'm going for. I'm going to apply this scholarship. And then the supervisor will now advise you appropriately. And then the university will help to provide maybe some persons that can assist you in the application in case you miss out of road, you have misunderstanding, then they can easily guide you. Actually, for Aros really helped me a lot in the sense that, in fact, at a point I felt like, it's like I'm doing PhD already in Malaysia, so why will I bother even if I don't get fined? But Dr. Bosede really helped a lot. She said, you have to push. She gave me the motivation, the pushing and the moral support that it really helped me to find this scholarship.
Thank you very much. And so I think my last question will be, let me see, the process requirement. What advice do you have for intending research scholars or students who wish to maybe study abroad and get this kind of, because this is the kind of scholarship everyone wants. So
yeah, absolutely. I must say that firstly, as we know, in any application of scholarship that you want to apply, your proposal must be very good. Just as Dr. Bosede said in the first place, my proposal was something that my supervisor had interest in, and then it gave me what advantage, because if in fact during my application I applied in US, University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, so many, finding supervisor, but all of these supervisors, none was interested in the proposal that was accepted by this supervisor that I'm here with. So that is how it is. So it depends on, for PhD, it depends on, are they interested in your proposal, what you want to do? And then in your application to your supervisor also, you can leave it and open, you can open it by saying that, I'm fine if it means not doing what I propose in my PhD. If you have something better, I'm open to do that. Not just sticking to my own proposal, but meanwhile, I prefer to do this. So you see, it gives opportunity to consider you for the scholarship. So I advise that proposal, take it serious, then have referees at hand, referees that will guide you in your application, because I had that challenge actually. So you make sure you have that. And then another thing is have in mind that it has to require a sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense that you have to pay the price for something, for you to get something. If it's something that is good, like coming here, getting this scholarship is very good, so many people will want it. So you have to pay the price for it. Yeah. So the price for it is the fact that, all I've spent in Malaysia is gone. And coming over here, the flight fare I have to pay, and accommodation was a bit hard to find. I have to pay for 1 month. And then, so maybe into the program, I have to pay again for 4 weeks before they now begin to pay me my stipend. So it's the price that one has to pay.
Thank you very much for enlightening us on that. I just want to ask one last question. The process of finding a supervisor, how was it?
Wow, I think it's the most hardest part of the application. to me. Because why? You have to search universities by universities. You have to search these supervisors by their area of expertise. And then you email them one by one. Some will reply, some may be on leave, some may not reply. So in all those ones, at last, you are going to get someone that will reply you. And at last, you are going to get someone that is interested in what you want to do. So in your application, you try to attach with your CV along and your documents along too. You have to take the risk and send with your documents too for them to see that, yeah, this is it. This is what you have. This is you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So to everyone, like I always say, it's a journey. It's a process. It's like building a house. You don't start with foundation and then the house is there. It takes a process, and that process can be hard. And it's something that you have to keep going if you really want to see it happen. I had an experience recently. I needed recommendations for a particular purpose, and I wrote letters. And up till now, the two of the people that I wrote letters to refused to even respond to say, we saw your letter or we didn't see your letter. Somebody was saying, maybe it went into spam folder and all that. Well, that's a possibility, but I'm telling you that sometimes they see your letters, they just don't respond. The reason is not because they are bad or that they want to be wicked. A lot of times, it's just difficult because you wake up in a day. I have the same experience. You wake up in a day and you receive 30, 40, 50 emails asking you to review something. Even if someone is paying your bills, you still can't do such a thing in one day. So it becomes really difficult that maybe it has to be something very outstanding or something that someone introduced them to you. But I'm going to also tell you how I eventually got the references that I needed. A friend of a friend, and that friend decided to write for me. I needed people from the United States, and there was someone that I have been interacting with, just building networks. I have never seen her before. We only met online at a conference, an online conference, and for the past 5 or 6 years, I've been interacting and saying hello from time to time. How are you doing? How was it during COVID? Hello, hope everything is okay there. And somehow it started to feel like we actually know each other. So when I mentioned it that, hey, see, I really needed some references for this purpose, and she said, hey, you can use me. I'm going to find someone else with me. And that was what she did. I don't know her from anywhere. So that's the purpose of building networks and nurturing them, because you never know when you're going to need them. I'm saying that because of his need. I knew when he was looking for references and he was looking for professors from everywhere who will write something good. So sometimes you get there. Sometimes it could be reference letters that will get you hooked, because they want someone to say, we know him, we know he can perform. So please just make up your mind. You want to do this. And then if you need help, that is one other area where I'm going to say something, because a lot of times we always get this request, can you help me with scholarship? And I will answer, no, I can't help you with scholarship. I can support you, but if you are ready to pay my fee too, because I have only 24 hours in the day like you do. And if I'm spending my time finding something for you, then somebody has to pay for my time. So it's a work that you need to do. You have to make the effort. You have to be decisive. You have to be ready to make the sacrifice. And then it can become something to rejoice over. A journey of a year and a half. Today is settled, and he said he just came from the hospital. And when I mentioned it in the house, my husband said, you see, now he's enjoying international medical care. So yeah, that's what you get as a reward for the hard work that you've done. Thank you very much, Solomon. We really appreciate your time. Please, if we have we can take 1 or 2 questions. He can take 1 or 2 questions. So if anyone, Bashar Adedokun, I've been seeing your hand up. Please go ahead. If you have a question, you can ask. Okay, it's like it's no more there. Does anyone have any question?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Solomon, for the presentation. Yes, my question is, what is the name of the scholarship that you are currently on? And the second one is English required in your university as a requirement for the admission? Looking at the fact that Nigeria, some Australian institutions, they do recognize, Nigerians as in they are exempted from English proficiency request. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you for the question. What a good question, most especially the second one. For the first one, the scholarship I am in is a graduate school scholarship. Just like every institution have a graduate school. So it's a graduate school that gives scholarship. Yeah.
English?
So for the English, the requirement of IELTS or any standard English testing exams, for Australia, actually, they stated that you should have IELTS. But for me, there was opportunity to provide evidence of English language proficiency. Since it's a PhD, and a PhD, you must have done your undergraduate and master's in a language. And what language is it? If it's English, then provide the evidence from the universities, and then they're okay with it. So that was what exactly I did. I asked the institutions to provide a letter stating that I did my programs in English.
Thank you very much. So to add to his answer, there is a document called Medium of Instruction. So you can ask your institution to provide it to you, and you can use it in place of English requirement. Thank you. Any other question? So like he said, every university in Australia that offers a master's or a postgraduate program have the scholarship, postgraduate scholarship. All of them have it. So whichever university you are applying to, you have the graduate scholarship opportunity. Any other question?
Yes, can I come in again?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I would like to know if maybe how many work hours can one have, and what is the rate? Thank you.
Yeah, it's similar to the one presented by Priscilla. It's 20 hours in a week. So they normally calculate it as in 40 hours fortnightly. So that's it. And then the rate for Australia is minimum wage is about $22 per hour. Australian dollars, not US dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's look at how the calculation is done for you as a research student. How do they do the calculation?
You mean in terms of the number of hours?
Do you have to clock in? Do you have to clock in and clock out at the lab or something?
Yeah, certainly. There's a desk for you. You have to make sure that you avail yourself there. Even if not every day, but most of the days of the week, maybe from Monday to Thursday or from Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days in 5 at least.
Okay. So you must meet up with the 20 hours requirement.
Yeah, the 20 hours I'm talking about is finding job. If you are working, you're allowed to.
So are you permitted to find a job again outside of the scholarship? Oh,
sure.
Good.
Yeah.
So you can have a full scholarship and still work 20 hours. That's a good one.
Sure. And then I think for you to do that, then you must have to work at night, I think, maybe.
Okay, yeah, because you need to fulfill your time at the lab too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other question? The last question, please.
I have this question. Can you work outside the university? That is one.
Yep.
Okay. My second question would be, this scholarship you enjoy, if you apply from your home country, which is Nigeria, where I'm speaking from, will you still get the same benefit, or are you given the leverage because you first had an abridged country?
Well, okay. The first one. What was the first question?
My first question: are you permitted to work outside the university?
All right. Yeah. Okay. This is it. You are allowed to work anywhere because this is just updated a few months ago. You know, the immigration authorities, they can update their things periodically as they deem it fit. So they are looking at shortage of manpower, and so they open it for all students to work 20 hours anywhere in Australia, but make sure that you fulfill your study requirements. Yeah. Then the second question, what is it again? Sorry.
Whether you're going to get the same thing if you were to apply from Nigeria instead of applying from Malaysia.
Okay. I think this can be answered exactly by them, but me being here, I can't give a precise answer, but I can only say what is likely to happen. I don't see the likelihood of okay, say you did your bachelor in Nigeria, you did your master's in Nigeria, and you're applying for this in Australia. Looking at ranking, because what they really emphasize on here is quality. Before I applied quality, in fact, in my offer letter, what they state is that make sure you deliver a quality thesis. So already, when you do all your studies in Nigeria, they believe that all you know is about Nigerian context only, and our institutions in terms of ranking, you know where we are. So that is it. That's the only thing I can say.
Okay, so let me add to that. The scholarship has a fixed description. It covers this and this and this, and whoever qualifies for the scholarship will qualify for that. But the question is, if you have studied back home, will you be able to qualify? If the answer is yes, then you're going to get the same thing. But if the answer is no, yes, you won't get the same thing. So I think it's straightforward.
Yeah.
So it's not about the country, it's about are you delivering quality? Are you able to meet up with the quality required for the offer?
That's right.
So is your question answered, please? Is your question answered?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. So thank you very much, Solomon, for attending to us. Thank you for joining the call. I'm so sorry that we didn't allow you to rest after coming back from the hospital. So we appreciate the time you have spent sharing with us. God bless you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too.